Testing one, two. Hey, everybody, it's Atticus. We're back in a online teaching or whatever. I guess there's been some COVID cases in the city, the province or whatever that I am in Vietnam. I got some more time to sit around the apartment and think of things to do. So Lately I've just been enjoying Vietnam a lot more. If you haven't noticed, that I've started posting again on my YouTube channel, started drawing again, just hanging out with some friends and stuff, it's definitely doing things that I should have been doing this whole 6 months that I've been here. It's just, when you move to a different country, it's hard. But anyways, I thought I would share. So I keep this journal, right? It's my personal journal. It's going to go to one person maybe one day, depending if she's still in my life or not. But some of it, I figured there was one entry I wanted to read about, my first couple days being in Vietnam. What I thought, what that experience is like for somebody who has dreamed about living overseas their whole life, and then when you finally achieve it, what's that's like. So, for example, any of you guys who might be considering doing this, let me explain to you kind of what it felt like the first week or so. So I'm gonna share a couple of my entries. These aren't too private ones or anything. These are just things that I think are kind of cool. So let's start with this one right here. So this was the 13th of April, 2021. The time was unknown, and this is what I said. End quote. I am somewhere over the ocean on my way to South Korea. The last 24 hours have been insane. I did it. I finally left the USA. I'm aboard a Korean air flight, and it's been amazing. I've had my first Korean dish, a tasty dinner called a bimbap. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Bimbap. So it was awesome. We put this paste on. It's so good, right? It's steamed rice, and then it's gochujang. It's Korean hot pepper sauce, sesame oil, and some other ingredients and meat. It was really good. They served it on the airplane, right? It was served with seaweed soup. I think it was very delicious. I have so much to write about, but I'm committed now, and there's no going back. So at this point, I was on the airplane. There was no room for second guessing. There was no way to turn back around and chicken out. I was on my way to Vietnam. So the last thing I wrote was that the only way through is forward. So this is when I first stepped into Vietnam. So I flew into Seoul, at the Seoul airport, and I had maybe a 15-hour layover at the airport there. I remember, I was exhausted, I was nervous, excited, ecstatic, scared. It's just all these different emotions going on through my life or whatever. But you finally do reach Vietnam, and I remember making it a point of when I got off that airplane, that first step into Vietnamese soil, which I could tell you some stories about what that was like. You get met with people in hazmat suits, and I'll tell you about that one later. But this is what I wrote. So this was the 15th of April, 2021, at 14:51 hours. So that'd be, for any non-military time people, would be 2:51. So I said, "Can you believe it? I am in Vietnam. I am in a different country. I fulfilled my dream. I feel so alive and hopeful. This is my second chance in life. I can do this, and I can make it my home. I am currently in the Moi Tan Grand Motel doing my 14-day quarantine. Boy, did I luck out, for this room is very nice. Even yet, I have it to myself for 14 days, so I didn't have to share it. I didn't have to share it with a roommate. So when everybody who came into Vietnam had a quarantine, and I was the only one who got my own room. I look out the window, and I see opportunity. I see a future that could be mine, something that I thought that I've lost. This country is beautiful and fascinating, and unlike anything that I've ever seen. So much was given, worked for, and sacrificed for me to reach this place. Honestly, I kind of never thought it would happen. I am an expat now. I have my first stamp on my passport and visa on my passport. And just a side note, I always wanted to get that, that first visa, that first stamp. My dad, he's traveled the world. And he has so many, and I've admired that since I was a kid. So getting I remember when I came into the Hanoi airport, and when they stamped me in, how exciting that was. You know, that was something I've dreamed about for years. Where was I at? I am proud of myself after all these years. The family is once again proud. My father is proud, for I saw it in his eyes at the airport. He believed in me, and it gave me strength through one last hug. I will never forget that moment or what he said to me. He said, "Justin, you did it. This is your dream." So yeah, that's the end of that entry right there. So yeah, that was, you know, the emotions and feelings of what I was feeling when I first came to Vietnam. Let me see here. Anything else I might be able to share with you? Yeah, I'll share this one with you. So with that, oh, hold on. There's a continue. So this one was the 21 of April, 2021 at 17:36 hours, which would be like 5:30 p.m., right? So I've been given this is when I found out that I was going to Lào Cai City, which is where I teach at now. I've been given my city placement. Drum roll, please. I'm going to Lào Cai, a city in the northwest region of Vietnam. I will be in a border town next to China. I'll get to experience two countries, cultures, adventures at once. I have no idea if Lào Cai will be any fun, but I might as well go big or go home. I have no expectations for my first city placements, and I told Apex I would do and go anywhere, no matter how remote or how far. So yeah, when I applied for this job, literally I said, you could send me to anywhere. I'll take it. I have no preference, no expectations. Just give me this opportunity. And they did, which I'm very thankful for, despite some of the pay issues, but that's a different story. They took me up on the pledge, they took me up on the pledge for sure, sending me here to Lào Cai. I have so many questions about Lào Cai. You know, the housing, food, doctors, the Apex Center. You know, how will they treat me? Will I be the only American/Westerner? In 8 days, I will find out. You know, be brave, Justin, was a note to myself. And yeah, one of these days, maybe I'll tell you guys what my first couple of days was like in Lào Cai. As I walked around, you know, what was going through my mind, what was going through my thoughts. When I first met my coworkers, who have been great, they threw like a little welcoming party for me, which I'll always be grateful for. I thought that was, you know, really nice how they embraced me with open arms, made me feel as comfortable as I could. And then I made a special note to myself, right? And this one, I said, I am living in Vietnam. I am overseas. I did it. I fulfilled my dream. Keep reminding yourself what it took to get here. Don't forget what you achieved, sacrifice for this dream. This is your moment, Atticus. Of course, I'm Atticus. You know, stay the course, stay focused, stay positive, and remember your Vietnam mantra, pledge. So I made a pledge and a mantra to myself as I came here. It was be brave, be strong, keep an open mind, and don't let yourself down. Embrace change. So that's been my promise, and that's been my mindset since I've been in Vietnam. Try to hold on to those words. Be brave, be strong, keep an open mind, don't let yourself down. That's one of the most important one. And embrace change. Yeah, like they always say, those who don't embrace change are destroyed by it, right? So, and change can sometimes be hard for me. I'm kind of I sometimes fall into routines, and it's very hard for me to be able to break from that. I get, you know, some anxiety or whatever. How about one more bonus one? We'll be 8 minutes into the video. So this one was the 1st of May, 2021 at 21:51 hours. Would be 9:51. It's almost 10 p.m. Lào Cai has been a pleasant surprise. The journey here was challenging and rough. Yeah, so I had to take a bus from Hanoi up until Lào Cai, and this bus was really cool. They had these little beds in them, these little cot beds, right? So I just sat there. It was like a 4-hour ride from Hanoi up to Lào Cai, and I'm sitting there looking out the window, and it's just everything was so surreal. Like, I'm living my dream, man. I'm in Vietnam. Like, how is this real? How did this really happen? All these years I was talking about it. How did it happen? So anyways, I start teaching in 3 days. No warm-up, no shadowing, just straight to it. So yes, another thing is, as a new teacher, at least with my company, there was no holding your hand. There was no, take a couple days to shadow somebody else. It was, get straight to it. Good luck, kid. You're thrown into the class and you have like 15, 20 kids just looking at you, and you're just like, oh, hello. So I go by Indy. That's what the kids call me, is Indy, like Indiana Jones from Indiana. Anyway, straight to it. I spent my day riding my motorbike, which is lame. It's not my CBR 600 that I have back home. I have this stupid little 100cc GoPed looking thing, but that's just what people ride out here. I spent the day riding my new motorbike and exploring the city. My South African friend Tony hooked me up for Antonio, who was a dude who I took his apartment when he moved out of Lào Cai. He was a teacher, so yeah, he hooked me up with it for super cheap. The advice and experience that I got was invaluable, and it prepared me for living here. So far, I have found a pizza place and ice cream. There is no, at the time, I didn't know where you could get a hamburger or soda. I did since then find that if you want to, but, maybe it's best that I just avoid that stuff, which I've been doing. And the last thing I wrote was, these are the best days of my life. So, yeah, that is a few, that's not the two personal ones, but that's some of the ones I wanted to share. So, so fast forward. After 6 months of being here and all the craziness that's happened, we've had a lot of different lockdowns. The company I work for, because of the COVID stuff, they got behind on the pay. I've seen a lot of people go. I've made a couple friends, but then they would leave. So it's a mixture of there's been a lot of ups and downs, but I don't regret a thing. I've loved it, and I have about 5 more months left on this contract. 5 more months left here, with at least my contract with Apex, which is the company I teach for. And I wonder what my future holds. Will I do another year? Will I try, Korea, it's on the map. I've been looking at Russia, actually. Russia's been kind of, maybe Thailand. I kind of wanted to do Vietnam for 2 years, though, because I've really fallen in love with this country. This country has so much to offer, and I've only seen a fraction of what it has, because, so many of the lockdowns, you can't really do much traveling, so I haven't seen Saigon, I haven't seen Da Nang, I haven't seen, one of my friends told me this place called Dalat, D-A-L-A-T, it's really beautiful. I haven't seen Sapa, Halong Bay, which is where my dad said to go to, so much more adventure to see here. I got 5 months to decide, but, yeah, it's just been interesting. Point being is, I was lost in America. When I was going to college, these last 4 years, when I started the YouTube channel and was doing like those games or whatever, that was the only thing keeping me sane. But like that was like a pivotal moment in my life of like I was gonna give up, and or I still had this dream that there might be some kind of opportunity, some kind of path for me. Adventure is what matters to me, and I found it, and so far, and luckily, it happened. So, if you guys are ever interested of like what the experience is like coming into as a new expat, as a brand new person going to a new country, I could tell you, what that experience is like how serious they, especially with this whole COVID thing, traveling with all the COVID restrictions and stuff has been really like literally they made us wrap up in freaking hazmat suits as we traveled to our quarantine hotels, like literally full suits and stuff. It was crazy. But stories I could tell you, if people, I've always said that this YouTube channel for one it's a hobby. It's something that I enjoy doing. 2, it's kind of cool. It's a way to connect with people since I don't really talk to many people, so I get to talk to these strangers out there, And 3, it's proof that I existed. It's 1,000 years from now. When my bones are dust, there'll be a memory that I existed, and and what I did, what I achieved, who I loved, what I fought for, what I believed, and I always thought that's kind of cool. It'd be a digital fossil of who I am. So, all right, guys, it's Atticus. I've talked on long enough. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.